What's up, guys? Welcome back to some Cheatlanders. So, this is going to be the best build series for the 1911. Alright, so I've done a fair bit of testing with this thing, and I think I've settled on this. This is probably the build that I'm going to run for these guns. Now, I have a few of these that are like S-Pens and stuff. Like, you get a little bit more damage, but it really doesn't make a difference. I don't know. You may or may not be able to find some niche uh, options where like you can squeak out more damage, but I've found that like for the cost of some of these, because I've tested a few different builds on this now, I'm gonna say this is the one that I like the most, just for cost and ease of use, ease to find. So let's see here. um, Basically, go to the exchange and you'll pick up one of these guys for 300. So just like the Saber, um, you can use one of these. Play style for these is, I mean, you're going to get probably faster, more accurate shots off in close range with this than with the Saber. I'm leaning towards this is not as good though as the Saber. Um, but I mean, it's okay. I've used them before. I've gotten plenty of kills with them. They're not bad. And let me show you what it does. Well, first of all, let me show you what I tried before. So, aside from this build, which is the one that I've settled on, you could run a couple different builds. You could run a bursting build, like Warhead bursting with Arm Destroyer. I put that on. This is a little bit more expensive because of the Warhead. This is about the same as this. So, you could do this with like, I don't know what's better to use for bursting builds. Like, I'm not an expert on bursting builds. Some people say use gray ammo. Uh, I don't know. I'm not sure. You could try it. It may work with like bursting warhead, armor destroyer, try to pop their armor, do additional damage to them. But then if you get the armor, which, the more damage it is, it may not be able to repair for additional costs. Like T4s are probably what you're aiming for. If you pop a T4, it's not worth repairing. You might as well just sell it for the 3600 that it vendors for, and that's all you're going to get out of it. Whereas if you can destroy it with as little damage to it as possible with something like this, you can sell it for the maximum amount of money, which is usually like 4,600 or something. 44, 4,600. I've also tested this. This is more expensive to buy, the heateds, and it doesn't seem to do any more damage than the cluster. So, and the best I could find for reasonable prices was 6 and 7%. There was only like 1 7%. And I tested it with this versus a cluster, and the damages were similar, just this costs more. So if any of you are thinking, maybe heated over cluster, tried it, doesn't seem to be cost effective. Uh, Adding additional arm damage doesn't seem to really make a huge difference. And adding an additional stat like this, the extra headshot damage, doesn't really seem to make a difference either, like in terms of shot count. So for the best bang for your buck is probably this and this. And if you're lucky, nobody's going to pick this piece of crap up. Like, if they don't realize the mag is worth like 4K or whatever, and they don't want that 4K or they find something better, they're going to take a T4 or something over this piece of crap any day of the week, most likely. They may scoop your ammo, whatever additional ammo is, because with this, you do have to run gold ammo, I would say. But I do have some S-Pens. They don't really make a difference, though. Like the S-Pens, extra damage. Maybe extra headshot damage might do a little something, but as far as extra pens go, they add a little bit of extra damage, but they don't seem to make a difference. They may make a difference if somebody has like mount helmet or rare or something on their helm, on like a T4 or whatever, but how often do you see that? Not very, I'd say. Most likely you're going to find amplifier, and that doesn't reduce damage. So Yeah, just to let you know, I've tried all these others, and I found that this seems to be the most cost-effective bang for your buck. So I'll show you what it looks like. This gun, unfortunately, just there is no best build for this gun because it's kind of a garbo gun. Like they never did buff this thing to make it decent. It sucks because there's no full auto mode, so it's not as good as a Glock. It's not even similar to a Glock. It does fire. I don't know. I'd say this fires a little faster than the Saber, but not by much. But if you go headshot, like see blue doesn't quite get you to the 2-tap. Purple will get you a 2-tap on T4s. But if you go up to T5s, you're going to have to do 3. And even more if you're going torso. Like this is... You're probably not going to take out a T5 with this unless you run the gold ammo. You run the gold ammo, you could get a quick 2-tap in and that would take him out in the head. If you go for body or whatever, you're looking at like 5 or 6 shots, which doable maybe, but if he's running T5, he's going to have a beastie gun too. It's probably going to kill you faster than this thing's going to kill him. So unless you can get that quick 2-tap off in the head, you know, poke around the corner and just 2-tap him. Gosh, I suck. I haven't been playing this game a whole lot, so like I'm rusty. But a 2-tap and a T4, T5 head, it's gonna do you. Body shots and stuff aren't really your bread and butter. It will take 4 or 5 shots, even with gold ammo, to take them down. And really, it's gonna be 3 shots in a T3, and still 2. So I would say the Saber's a better option than this, but if you're looking for a best build, you want to run one of these, odds are nobody's going to pick it up because they're gray and they're garbo. But I mean, that might be the only reason you would buy this and insure it. Somebody might pick up your Saber, or at least they'll take the optic off of it, which makes it worthless anyway. With this, they may take your optic, but they might not. It's not a great optic. And it may just come back to you if you insure it. The weakening of the headshot will also, if you only get that one head top off, and you have to work the body or whatever, you'll get more damage on their body, so you may still be able to, like, 2 or 3 tap them. That weakening is a pain. It makes it hard for them to get to cover, and it slows you down, and you take extra damage when you're hit with weakening. So I think weakening is a good addition to this. The only other thing I would say would be really nice would be Warhead, but Warhead and Cluster are super expensive. Anything with Warhead is expensive. And this thing only takes extended mags. You can't use quick mags. Quick mags, you can probably find a nice budget quick mag for this sucker, but since they're all extended, extendeds are popular mags. This is about as cheap as you can get and still be effective. So I'm going to say that's the best build for this, as far as budget builds go, out of all the ones that I've tested. And I was playing around with like torso and headshot damage, cluster, bullet. The only other thing that might work is a bursting bullet build, but I'm not 100% sure what the best build for that is that would work. Maybe you use gray ammo and you go like warhead bursting or cluster bursting, and then maybe you just take armor damage, the armor destroyer on your optic here, and it might work, it might not. But you are going to destroy whatever armor you hit and pop it, which means it's not going to be worth as much. So I would say that's probably not the way you want to go. Most likely you want to rock gold ammo. You want to kill somebody, you know, go in, tap somebody, preferably in T4 if you can find one, and then you pocket your gun and his kit. That way you always retain your gun, so in case you die with whatever else you have, you still have your gun to go back in and try to do it again with. That way you lose as little as possible. Just use whatever gun they're using. Even if it's like a gray AK, like use that over your gun because that gray AK is worth less, I promise you, than this thing is, especially with all the gold ammo in it. And really, I wouldn't bring in any extra ammo. I would just fill this thing with 18 rounds, and that should be enough to get you one kill. And then you take their gear, pocket your pistol, and any extra gear that he may have that is valuable that you want to keep. If he's got a really nice gun, maybe you pocket both and pick up some gray gun to use instead. So, that's going to be it for this one, guys. That's the best I can do with a 1911. This is just not a great gun. It never has been. So, have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.